Hello, my name is Ryan Gormley. I am a digital media design senior at the University of Pennsylvania. I'd like to show you a little bit of my senior design project. So if you go into a supermarket, you'll notice that most of the food that we eat today is heavily processed. We're pretty much all in prepackaged boxes. Even when you go to a restaurant, you don't really know what's going into your food. So it becomes very difficult to have a balanced diet when you don't truly understand the types of food that you're eating. You can look at the box for the food you're eating, but all you really get is just a tiny little label with some numbers about nutrients that you're getting. It's really hard to really know what you're getting. You don't really know what, say, 15% daily recommended value means. Does that mean if you have one meal, that's not a lot? Does it mean that it is a lot? It's really hard to tell. So the problem that my app attempts to solve is how can we track our nutrition, make sure that we're having a balanced diet, but at the same time not bogging ourselves down by having to really crunch the numbers to figure out exactly what nutrition you're getting. Instead, having more of a qualitative knowledge, say, I didn't get enough protein or I had too much fat today, rather than I had 32 grams of fat today. The data that my app uses is backed by the database given by the USDA. It's called the USDA National Nutrient Database. It has a listing of large number of common foods, in all different variants of the foods, and how much of each nutrient you get from that food. So my app takes this data from the database, and it will list out all the foods that you can eat. And you can go through each day. After each meal you put in, after breakfast you put in, I had a bowl of cereal with a cup of milk. After lunch you say, I had a turkey sandwich with lettuce and tomato. After dinner you said, I had chicken cutlets with pasta and some tomato sauce. And then it will give you a plot of all the information. It'll show you how much as, percentage in a progress bar of how much of each nutrition you've got. So if you didn't get enough protein, then you'll have a bar that's not quite filled up all the way. If you got too much fat, you'd have a filled up bar, and it might even be bright red indicating that you have too much, and it'll give you how much you've gone overboard. Let's take a look at my app. So right now, the app is loading from the database all the food in a nice, right now we just have a simple list with all the food. So you can scroll through the food, pick what you're going to eat. So let's say, we had some eggnog. It's not quite that time of the year yet, but, so then you can see that it tracks the general nutrition information right now. Just for simplicity, I'm just displaying total fat, total carbs, and the amount of protein. So in the future, if we go back to this list of food, we can go about and pick the different items that we've had in the day. Say you had some sour cream, which had 9.5 grams of fat, and you had one whole dry egg, which is 41 grams of fat. It would tell you that you've had 60 grams of fat, and it would tell you what you're actually recommended to get. And then it might give you some recommendations. For instance, if you're low on protein and high on carbohydrates, it might tell you to eat a food that has a good amount of protein but really doesn't have carbohydrates. So maybe instead of breaded chicken cutlets, just having plain chicken cutlets. And so that's where I am at this point on my design project. So I'm going to keep working on it. And if you want to check out updates, you can check out nutricoder.blogspot.com. And that is where I will be posting all my updates and all my thoughts on my project.